welcome to the September 5th Fat Quarter Shop live stream. I am so excited to be here today. I want to let you know I recorded this video 1 week in advance because I'm on my vacation that I take once a year when I go to CrimeCon and have the time of my life. The entire time I text my children all these pictures with all these famous people and they're like, Mom, you're not cool. So anyway, I'm sure I'm going to be having the time of my life. I'm excited because today we're doing sew along progress. We have a lot of quilts that we have borrowed from manufacturers. We have lots of new items. We have some sale items. We just have a ton of stuff. So the live stream will probably be 2 hours. I am going to try to not talk too fast so I don't miss any details. And I'm just going to jump right in. If you have questions, we are in the chat. So if there's something I don't cover, we can happily answer that, but hopefully I don't miss anything. So a couple months ago, we worked with Riley Blake, and we've always really liked the color C747 Pebble. So I used this on several sew-alongs in the past. So we asked them to put together pre-cuts that are exclusive just for us. So we have the 5-inch stacker, the 10-inch stacker, and then the roly-poly, and just search Pebble B cross stitch, and it'll come up. Now you can only find these at Fat Quarter Shop. We're gonna do some sew-alongs with them in the future because I love the color. It goes with her modern and her Prairie collections. We are gonna be showing some recolorings on all of our Instagram and Facebook, showing this mocked up with a gentler times creation with free patterns so that you can know what to do with it. But we're also going to be we're going to do a blog post where we make some blocks using this with some of Lori Holt's it's sort of a foundation paper. I'm going to be using them. My favorite pre-cut, everyone always asks, is the layer cake. So this is the one that I'm going to take home and use. So just wanted to let you know this came out. Now this is one of the colors. It's a basic. This is one where we sell this by the bolt also. And I don't know, I'm just super excited about it. I always love to do something exclusive, and I always like to do something that's much easier to start than yardage. So we have that. It's the B cross stitch Pebble pre-cuts. So that is brand new. It just literally walked in the door. And then for September, we have a ton of stuff planned for September. So September is actually National Sewing Month, all of September. So we are offering 30% off Kimberly's color products. So there's the entire set where you get all 4 of the items, or you can get them individually. This is the Mad for Plaid project bag, the Kimberly's color stash and store, the Kimberly's color alpha biddies, and then the mini cutting mat, which I use all the time. Now this coupon is from today until September 7th. So it will end September 7th at Central Standard Time, basically midnight. You don't need a coupon. It will just automatically be applied in your shopping cart. I also wanted to let you know that on September 20th, we're gonna do a live stream that's live at 10 a.m. Central Time, and I'm gonna take this jelly roll, which is Delightfully Yours, and I'm gonna give you a little peek. This is what we're gonna be making. That's all you get to see. So I want you to have a jelly roll, starched if you starch, not starched if you don't, and be ready to sew with me on September 10th. And then also be great if you have a calendar, put it on your calendar so you can join me, because I always think it's fun the more people we have. And what's great about this pattern that we're gonna have is you just need a jelly roll. You don't need a background or anything. The having a 7.5-inch square ruler would be helpful, but it's not, you know, you don't have to have it. So please join me then. I'm very excited. And so you get to see a tease of what I'm going to be doing. Fun fact, I was supposed to already have made some of the blocks for that live stream, but I'm going to take this home this weekend and hopefully get that done. And I'm excited. So now we're going to do sew along progress, and I'm really excited because this is a quilt that I made last year. I actually did all of the prep work for this like last November or December. This is the Cali & Co. Mystery Block of the Month. It's a free block of the month. by Corey Yoder on her website, Coriander Quilts, and this is our August block. So she has a free video. She also has a free blog post, and these are the leftover blocks. I'm not sure what we're going to do with them at the end, but these actually come from, like, you cut this off, this was that, and then you get this extra piece. So very excited. And this collection right here is Cali & Co. We are sold out of most of the yardage, but excitingly, we do have the fat quarter bundle still in stock. And if you're looking for a white on white that would look good, you can use 20708-36. The dot is a little bit lighter, but it was going to be very similar. So, and we do have a lot of that in stock. We are having it reprinted, and we will have more when we sell out, probably in November, but we have plenty of fat quarter and fat eighth bundles. So that's exciting that we actually have something in stock. So Corey always does a free block of the month each year, and so does Sherry McConnell. So this is the Quilting Live 2025 block of the month. It is from Sherry McConnell's blog, and this is the August block. I'm sewing with Raspberry Summer and Laguna Sunrise, and if you're interested in sewing along with this, she comes out on the first Monday of each month with the free pattern. Now at the end of the year, she will make it a paid pattern. So if this is something you're wanting to do, maybe in the future, you might want to download those patterns now, just in case you want to do it later. This one's really fun. I think this one's going to look really good laid out. And if you've watched any of the reels that I have on YouTube and Instagram, I'm cutting all of my strips bigger and cutting down as I go. I get a lot of questions on how much bigger do I cut things. It's usually 1/2 inch. If I'm, very short on fabric, I'll do 1/4 inch. But this one's been really fun because the blocks have been super easy. This is the white on white from Raspberry Summer. I don't know if we have it in stock or not. And this, I will tell you, this drives me crazy that I don't have the two fabrics going the same direction. That drives me crazy. So if I had to redo it, I'd probably redo it. The Vintage Christmas Quilt Along, we started at the beginning of 2025, and we're making basically 4 blocks a month. And we do still have quilt kits for this. So with this sew along, Lori Holt took her Vintage Christmas book that we published years ago, and she recolored it using her Hometown Holiday collection that came out in 2024. So this one was called, I'm trying to think of what this one was called.
Was it Cozy Christmas?
Yeah, this was called Cozy Christmas. And so this was about 5 years ago. So these are my blocks for August. And if you want to see me making them, I make them on the reel on YouTube, so you can see me kind of do them fast forward. Basically online you can print this out and you can use this fabric requirements and use your stash. You don't have to sew with the quilt kit, but we also have all of the dates that you can download if you're wanting to sew along with us. So we're down here on August. Let's see, I have 10 blocks left to make. And this one's, when you look at it, it can be intimidating just to look at it. But just doing 4 blocks a month and really spreading it out is going to make it not feel so much pressure. I think each block takes me about an hour. And what I do is I cut the fabric, make the block, stop. Cut the fabric, make the block, and stop. If I tried to cut all of the fabrics at one time each month, I think I would get confused because there's so many fabrics. And this uses the 6-inch blocks from the book, and the layout is going to be exactly the same. And then I'm going to show you each block where we zoom in. So if you're trying to make this quilt and you want to make it exactly like Lori colored it, you can see them up close. So they're also on the blog, and each month we add them to the original blog post we had, so you can print that out or zoom in while you're sewing and just leave your computer screen open. It's kind of hard, you know, since the blocks are so small, so I don't think I've made any color changes from what Lori did. If I did, it was on accident. And this is the Hometown Holiday Collection by Lori Holt. The quilt's gonna finish at 66 by 74. And I'm really excited about it. And I hope you have had fun if you're making this one. The next one is also Christmas by Lori, but it looks totally different. So the last one I showed you is much brighter. This is the Quilted Snowman using, is it the same collection? So this is using the same collection, but it looks totally different because on the background of most of the blocks for Vintage Christmas, we use this print, which is very light. If you compare it to this background, it's very dark. So just looking at the fabrics, you know, changing your background will completely change the look of your quilt. And this looks cream, and here it looks much lighter. It doesn't look as cream as it does next to this. So that's one thing to always remember is whatever fabric you put next to yours is going to affect your block. So the Quilted Snowman is a really awesome booklet. It is 58 pages. It has full color instructions, and we started this sew along also in January of this year. We are now way down here in August, so I actually have like maybe 4 or 5 blocks left. And then what's great about this one is there's really not, I mean, there's like a border. Like, for example, there's a, you know, outside border and then an inside border. So that's going to be super easy because the blocks just go together. Whereas this one, this is going to take a lot of work to do this border. So when I get done with this one, the blocks, I'm going to have a lot of work to still do. But when I get done with this one, it's just going to go together really easy. And I want to show you, you know, we give you instructions on where to do everything. It's not just one big diagram slapped together. So it's going to make it easy for you to really put that together when you're done. So this is the Quilted Snowman, and I'm going to show you my August blocks and my July blocks. Okay, this one's ginormous. So this is the wheel block, and this one I'm actually doing the cross stitch at the same time, and I just cross stitched this section, so it's kind of fun doing them at the same time. So this one is the bottom of the wagon. This is the wagon handle, so it's going to go kind of up here, and then this is going to go on top. So it's like the top of the wagon handle, and then it continues down here. And so what I'm doing is I'm making each of the units or blocks as I go. I'm not skipping ahead and trying to put any of the blocks together just because I think that's going to be a lot. The next section is going to be working on the snowman body, which is going to be pretty easy because these pieces are really big. This pattern is available as paper and PDF, and we do have kits and backing sets. And if you're interested in still doing this one, I would say this one is taking me a lot more time making the blocks than Vintage Christmas. But like I said, when I'm done with the blocks here, I'm going to be almost done with Vintage Christmas. I'm going to have a lot to still do. So that's one thing to always think about when you're scheduling, you know, your time.
How are you pressing?
Let's see how I'm pressing. I know on the Vintage Christmas I'm pressing open, and this one I am pressing open. And you know, I just press open all the time now. It's just a thing. I know it's probably not the best thing because, you know, your seams could come open, but I make my stitch length so small that it's almost impossible to unstitch it with my seam ripper. In fact, sometimes if I do something wrong, I just remake the unit because it takes longer to seam rip it because I just cannot get those stitches out. So I'm just really careful. And when you're stitching open, if you go like this, nothing should pop. Yeah, one stitch popped. That should not happen. This one's going to be 87 by 97, which is pretty big. And then the next sew along we just started. So this is the Prairie Home book that came out last year by Holt. And, oh wait, we didn't just start this one. This is not the one I started this week. It's the next one.
It started in March.
This one started in March. Sorry, I got that wrong. So this one, you know, you need the book, and then we have the sew along guide you can download. It has the fabric requirements. Both the B bundle limited edition color and background bundles, we did get more in stock. Now, I don't know if they'll still be in stock by the time we do this email, but I'm constantly buying those fabrics to recut those. I'm going to be showing you my August progress. It was pretty easy this month. So I have tried to keep my fabrics exactly the same as Lori's, except she has purple in her blocks and I'm not going to put purple in mine. So if you want to see what I did, here is mine. Each month on the 15th of the month on that blog, we give you the up close color of, you know, if you want to see this, but you want to see it up close, you will, let's see, you can go print these out that month. And see, I put notes all over here. So this one was purple, and I made it pink, and the way I decided what color to make it was this one. If you're watching the reels that I'm doing, I've got a lot of fabric all over the place, and to be honest, it's a hot mess. So my favorite color is pink. My second favorite color is aqua. So I was like, what pink and aqua do I have the biggest piece of that I can use? And so that's what I did. And then this one, I don't love it so much. I think this is a little busy. But I think when you get blocks like this with this busy low volume, it looks funny here, but when you get it in the actual quilt, it won't look as crazy. In fact, let me try to find it on here where it is. It is right here. So see right here, it doesn't look as busy as it does, you know, not next to anything. This one's pretty easy. It's very beginner, you know, beginner friendly. I've made a lot of stuff from this book and loving the book. This quilt is going to be 73 by 77, and just make sure if you're sewing along with any of these sew alongs, just make sure to show us on social media. We love to see all of your photos. And if you ever hear of like a sew along that maybe a designer's doing that's offered free, we always you know, want to know about that so we can tell you. The Scrappy Americana flag sew along, it started, let's see what month we started. May 2025. So we're now in August. So I have a little bit of this one done. This one I'm sewing along at the same time as you guys, so I'm not ahead at all. I love these blocks because I use triangle paper and they just come out so perfect. So for each month, you're actually making 6 different blocks that measure 5.5 inches. So they don't take long at all. And some are similar and some are different, but these right here, they make the flag part. We'll move to the star part later in the sew along. And this one is using her Americana collection, and we are making more bundles of those from that collection as we can. I know we have plenty of quilt kits in stock. It's the bundles that we keep running out of, but I'm thinking we will have more fabric in October. The pattern is available either paper or PDF. It's obviously designed by Holt. The pattern is written for traditional. So traditional is on the left page, foundation paper's on the left page, traditional method is on the right page. So this would be a great quilt to have done for the 250th anniversary of the United States next year. If you're on the fence and you haven't decided if you're going to make it, I know a lot of people are doing 250th anniversary quilts. We'll probably do some kind of trunk show and find a bunch of Americana quilts. But this one's really fun. I like this one because it's so simple compared to the others. And this one's going to be so fun to put together. Whenever I'm sewing with foundation paper or triangle paper, my blocks just come out so perfect that I really have a fun time putting them together. This probably only takes me like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, because it's foundation paper piecing and I just go pretty fast with that. So these are my August blocks. And you might notice some of my reels they're going to be a little bit behind for September because I'm going to CrimeCon, but then I'm also going to Garden of Quilts, and then I'm going to Parents Weekend for Emma. So when I get home, I'll be busy sewing like a crazy mad woman. This quilt finishes 65 by 105. Okay, now, Moda Blockheads 6. This started May 28th. This one goes all the way until November 12th. This is hosted by Moda Fabrics, and you can either get their free pattern every Wednesday through the sew along on the Moda Fabrics blog, or you can purchase the My Favorite Color is Still Moda quilt booklet. We're going to look at inventory on that to make sure we have those. That is what I am using because I'm sewing in advance, and then they tell you which block each week. I'm using the Bloom collection by Corey Yoder, and this background I'm using is from Coriander Seeds. It's 29146111. We'll make sure we have plenty in stock. Now, this one, there's a lot going on. Let's just say that. And I haven't been very good at keeping them in order. So I'm just going to show them to you. These are all the blocks as of now. They're not in any particular order. And I'm just going to show you the blocks. I'm not going to pretend to know what week they are or what block they are. We are going to get them in order later. I just don't feel like it's that important right now. I'm kind of in the middle of the sew along, and when I'm in the middle of the sew along, I'm just sewing and having fun. At the end, I will organize it, and so sometimes you make 2 blocks for the 9-inch, sometimes you make 1. Most of the blocks are 9 inches, 18 inches, or 27 inches. And so for the main blocks, I am using the blues, greens, peaches, and then some low volumes with that white on white. And then when I get to the accent blocks, I'm going to be using, there's like a tan group. I hate this block, by the way. I don't know what it is, but when I made this block, I was like, way too much. I fussy cut this, and I just think it's obnoxious. So on this, I'm going to be using the tan when I get to the setting blocks. And I kind of just decided that a couple of days ago. So there's a couple blocks. This one took a long time. And when I'm doing any kind of sew along, no matter who's hosting it, I try to use foundation paper or triangle paper. You know, that's what I try to do. I try to give hints on the little videos I film. And I colored each of these using the electric quilt software. And then what I did, because I didn't have as much time this time, is, for example, this is 2 different blocks. I colored one block, and then when I was sewing, I just made the other block up. I didn't have time to color every single block, but if I colored one, I just kind of knew what else would look good. Now this one was a little bit harder. This one I had to, they give you the template and the pattern, and so I used foundation paper, Xeroxed it on my copier, and then did it. I will tell you, when you're looking at it, I can tell immediately the seams. this is pressed to one side and this is pressed open. So look at the difference of that bump. You can really see it. So when it's quilted, I probably won't be able to tell that, but it kind of drives me crazy. But I couldn't figure out how to press that open while I was making the blocks. And you use that template a couple of times in the pattern and it came out just fine. So that was good news. So these are my 9-inch blocks so far. This one I think is 27. This is the center, I believe. And when I started this sew along, I wasn't sure what setting I was going to use, but I think I'm going to use the one from that booklet now. We'll see, but that's what I'm leaning towards now. And on this one, I used a lot of different low volumes from the collection, just so that I just don't want everything to be so white. So this was I think this was one of the first blocks I made. This one took a lot of hours, and I think the way I ended up doing it, I didn't like. Something about the way I did it, I would have done differently if I had to redo it. Speaking of that template, here's more like that. And so I really didn't have like a rhyme or reason, but like I didn't exactly like if I put blue here, I'd put green here, if that makes sense. I kind of just picked and chose, and I started with a half-yard bundle, and I did run out of some of the fabrics, and so I would just, buy more and starch, and at the end, I'm getting pretty low. Look at that strand. I'm getting pretty low on my fabric, so my last blocks might end up ugly.
So the blue that's in the outside is that same blue that's in the inside of your two, like you use the same fabric.
So this is different than these. So this is 4 different fabrics, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. And then these are 4 different fabrics, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I use 4 greens, 5 blues, and 4 peaches.
And then those same fabrics are the same in that.
They're not. I don't know if they're the same. They might be, but I don't know that I planned it that way. Maybe I did. Yeah, and so I'm really kind of getting low on my fabrics, but that's what happens. And I also, I cut bigger, and that is the biggest thing. I waste fabric, and I know you guys comment and say I waste fabric, but I have to do it the way that brings me joy, and what brings me joy is perfect blocks. So I do always start with extra background. Now this specific fabric, I have a bolt of fabric. I have 3 or 4 bolts of white on white. This was at my house. As I need fabric, I cut it off the bolt and starch it. And I have a few more blocks. These were from the beginning, I think. And these, I think, are 18 inches, and you only made 1 each. And I think at the beginning, I was doing a better job at having, more scrappiness. But as I'm getting to the end, I'm running out of fabric. And so it's not as scrappy. But in the end, I don't think it'll matter because, it is what it is. Okay, so that is Moda Blockheads 6. Go to Moda Fabrics blog. It's completely free. And there is going to be a catch-up week in a couple of weeks, which is awesome because then it'll give you time to catch up if you're behind. The next sew along, there are so many, is the Flower Farm Sampler book by Shelly Kavana that I absolutely love. We had her on as a guest on the live stream. She is so sweet. I can't wait to meet her in person one day. So she's doing a quilt along on her blog, and she started with the easier blocks and went to the harder blocks. What I did is I just went from the front of the book to the back of the book. So I just went in this order. So I think the way I did it was much harder, but I think that's just how we always did it. I never thought about going backwards. So I'm going to show you my August blocks. This is using the Americana half-yard bundle and the Americana backgrounds half-yard bundle. And then your fabric requirements are here if you want to use different fabrics. I believe that, because I'm doing this very Americana, this is using Shelly Kavanagh's fabric. She does have some kits on her website that mimic the look of this. She is a designer for Benartex fabric, so you can always check out Shelly Kavanagh's blog and website if you want to look at her kits and her coloring. Now, I will say this is a big time investment. This has been a big time investment. And Sarah colored this one for us. So she drew out the colors, and then you can see up close. The blocks are pretty big, so you can tell which fabrics are which. And these two are identical, and then these two are identical. And if they're not identical, there's a sheet. Basically, there are sheets you can print out that tell you what fabric goes in each month if you want to make it exactly the way I'm making it. This one I did press open. I really can't help myself. Okay, we have one more. I don't know, you know, sometimes I look at this stuff and I think, how do I do this? And honestly, I have no idea how I get all of this done. You know, people say I work all the time, but maybe I do. Maybe I need to get a life. Okay, the Jolly Bar, this is the one I was thinking about earlier, so I spoke wrong. The Jolly Bar Book 5 is now out. This just started, like in the last week or two. So this sew along, we have a fabric requirement, we have the dates that you can print out, and then we have instructions. Basically, you do need the book. Sarah designed this, taking different blocks from different months and telling you what to make. This is using the Gentler Times collection by Lori Holt. And I'm using this pink fabric. Some of the backgrounds in Gentler Times are darker than some of her normal backgrounds, but by using this one, it really brightens up that fabric. So the first month was kind of hard because you made 4 of these, and these go on the corner of the quilts. And I think one of them I might have not done exactly the same as Sarah, just Sarah's drawing, just because I think I might have gone too fast. But that's, when you're sewing something, don't feel like you have to make it exactly the way that we do. Now I'm using 1 layer cake and 1 Jolly Bar. You really only need 2 Jolly Bars, but I want to be able to starch and make bigger and trim down. So this was the first blocks, and then this is the second block, or vice versa. Now I will tell you, this one kind of drove me crazy because, so right here you can see all these seams. It drove me crazy because to make this, I could have used, if it wasn't a Jolly Bar pattern, I could have used foundation paper. This could have been a flying geese, not 2 half square triangles. So having these seams kind of drives me crazy, but when you're using a smaller pre-cut, you have to use different methods. This background right here is 16477 coral. We will look at inventory and make sure we have a lot of it. I do think the Gentler Times, we do have a lot of inventory of this, and all the Gentler Times, the great news is we have not sold out of any kits yet on that one, so that's very exciting. And we'll probably be working on the Jolly Bar Book 6 soon. So thank you to everybody who sews along with us. We have 2 mystery quilt alongs that we do every year. And so now I get to reveal the Christmas one.
Do you want to do Top Kim?
Yeah, Top Kim. Don't you think? Okay, so this is Up on the Rooftop Mystery Quilt Along. This was the sample. This is the sample that we made before the sew along started. This fabric right here is one of Moda's cross weaves. This pattern is completely free on the Fat Quarter Shop website, and there's also a free cross stitch. Now, in the past, we've gotten so many comments that people want to sew along up front and they want to do it all at once. So next year we'll be doing the same thing we did this year, where we give you the option to purchase it before it starts, which is what we did also with this one. This is Autumn Nights Mystery. We are on week 2, so that is your sneak peek for week 2. Both of those patterns, full patterns, are now no longer online because we've started the quilt along. You can find all of those for free. Both of those quilt kits are sold out. Our Sew Sampler box for August. I love showing you these. And I actually have no idea if we have any extra boxes left over. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I have no idea. But this one's super cute. Ignore this. This is it was broken. It's fine. So, okay, this one, the theme is Sewing Wild, and I want to show you something. We have a link to the live stream that we did with Shelly Kavana here on this QR code. We have a jelly roll announcement for our jelly roll day, and then this is what I really wanted to show you. This is a pattern that is called Charm Pack Crispies. That's a free shortcut quilt on our site. And if you want to make it using the pre-cuts in the box, this is what it looks like. Because the pattern that goes in the box uses a template. So we have given you 2 options. The fabric, this is the Among the Wildflowers 2 collection. So in the box, you get 3 charm packs. So you can either take the pattern that comes in the box, which is called Rain Lilies. It uses the 4-in-1 Hexie by Creative Grids and Mariana Diaz. So you can do this, or you can make this pattern, which you can find free on our website, Charm Pack Crispies. So you get 3 charm packs. The Sew Lines Air Erasable Fabric Pins. So this is one of the pins you use, you mark, and then you let it air erase. If you're using this, do not iron, because iron will set the ink. I haven't used this pin, so if you've used it, let us know what you think of it in the comments. I haven't used an air erasable pin in a long time, but I used to use that all the time. We have the Flowering number 5 block. And this is your block all made up. So thank you to Teresa who made this. It's super cute. I love that a lot of you are using different collections this time. And then all the information you need on the products is here. And we always list, you know, the SKU numbers, anything we know about the product that would be useful to you. So I would keep this just in case, like say you're a Sew Sampler member and you go back 3 years and you're like, wait, what was that product? At least you can get to it. So 3 charm packs, 2 patterns, pin, template, and then here is the backings. And Shelly Kavana, she has great low volume prints. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, these quilts were all loaned to Fat Quarter Shop from the companies that made these. So this is the Skip a Beat quilt pattern featuring Simple Pleasures by American Jane. This is a Riley Blake quilt kit. It's a boxed quilt kit. It finishes at 60 by 72. So you can either buy the boxed kit or the pattern. It's called Skip a Beat. It is arriving later in September. And the white on white in this collection, this is from the Confetti Cotton collection. And I think it's really pretty. I'll show you what they put on the back also.
Just saying.
Oh, pull. And then they always put a one of these on here. So this is the Riley Blake Designs Library. We're gonna mail it back to them. It's super pretty. I love the 1930s feel of it, and I love the colors. I think it came out really nice. This is the Ebb and Flow Quilt Kit featuring Ivy Reese collection by Dina Rudder. This one is square. It's 77 inches square. So this pattern is actually by Sandy Gervais of Pieces from My Heart. So you can either purchase the Ebb and Flow Quilt Kit or the Ebb and Flow pattern by Sandy Gervais. This is also arriving later in September. And this background is from the collection. And I want to show you the outer border's pretty thin, or sorry, skinny would be the correct word. And so this is something where, you know, if you wanted to make this one bigger, it would be easy by adding another border. And then here's the backing they put on this quilt. This is a 108 wide by Lori Holt. Now this quilt is beautiful, guys. This is called Laura's Log Cabin. This is the Evening on the Prairie collection by Modern Prairie, and I'm gonna show it to you up close. This would be like, for me, a bucket list quilt because the amount of time to make it. It's super heavy. The more pieces you have, the heavier your quilt is going to be. This is 84 by 100, so basically it would be great for a queen or a king, and the color goes from pinks to yellows back to pinks. So it's kind of got this ombre type effect. The blues and grays are in the center. The pattern is written by Modern Prairie. This will be in stock in September. It is just beautiful. And I will say the hardest part of this quilt to me would be right here. So if you're looking at this, I haven't seen the pattern yet because obviously we only have the quilt. So this is your block. So this is one block, and then you're alternating with the log cabin block. So log cabin star. And then this is, I'm guessing that it's, well, I think it's pieced. I would piece it bigger and chop it down. But this quilt, I love the color placement of it. And then the backing they put on it is a confetti cotton, and then they put a quilt sleeve on it. But it's so pretty. So I don't think those kits are gonna last long when they do arrive. It came out much prettier, and I don't know if we bought enough. This is the Evening Star Table Topper Kit, same collection. Evening on the Prairie by Modern Prairie. It's 50 inches square. Pattern is by Riley Blake. This kit and pattern, this kit comes in September. Pattern will not be available separately. I think on the other one, the pattern is also not available separately. Anytime there is a Riley Blake boxed kit, they usually keep those patterns exclusive to the box. Now this one I love, of course. This is called Pretty Pears Runner Kit. It is by Lori Holt. It's Gentler Times. Now this pattern, everyone's gonna want this pattern. Pattern only comes in that boxed kit. This quilt is in stock until it isn't, which means I think it's gonna sell out. I wanna show you my pink blocks from the Jolly Bar next to this, just to kind of show you some color differences. And none of this is applique, it's all just pieced. So if you're looking at this collection, that's pretty dark. That's much lighter. So the busier your low volume is, the darker it's going to read. So that is the Pretty Pears Runner. And you know, I think it's really cute. I would love to make it. It does look like it's pretty time intensive. It's 33 by 84. And anytime you see any table runner by Lori Holt, it's always going to be big. Everything Lori does in her house is big. She'll put them on. She has big farm tables. She just has big furniture. And so anything she does, it's going to be nice and big. Now this quilt is the Delightful Quilt, and we showed you this kit and the kit I just showed you in the box last week or 2 weeks ago. So this is it sewn up. This uses the pie ruler by Lori Holt that comes in the box. And so do you think we can zoom in?
Yeah, zoom in.
Yeah. Do you know how?
No.
Okay, hold on, we're gonna zoom in. So I wanted to show you, I think this is really neat. There's a couple things you could do with this quilt. Okay, so see how they made all 4 of these with the same background? Same background. It makes it look like 1 block, but it's really 4 blocks. So this is the pie ruler, but what I really like about this sample is after they put this down, these are, this is a blanket stitch. Kind of hard to see, but it's a pretty small blanket stitch, and I think it really adds to just the beauty of the quilt. And this is also gentler times. This one is 70 inches square. I would say this one's probably intermediate. This is also a 108 by Lori Holt. 70 inches square. This kit is called the Fall Garden Quilt Kit. This is the Sunflower Whispers collection by Lisa Audit. She is a newer designer at Riley Blake, and her fabric has been selling out. I think this might be the 2nd kit we've done with her. This is a Riley Blake kit. The pattern is by Sew and Quilt. It finishes at 82 by 84. The quilt is in stock. We are waiting on the yardage to arrive. And I'm going to show you the quilt and then the inside of the box. So this is a really cute quilt because it's pumpkin blocks and sunflower blocks, and it's pieced in vertical rows. Columns. Sorry, I don't know the difference. I do know the difference between rows and horizontal, but wait, rows and columns, but you know, it took me a while just to get columns and horizontal and vertical correct. So I believe this one is, the pattern probably is available separately. I'm not 100% sure. And then I'll show you the back. Okay, I do want to show you something. Okay, this is something that drives me crazy. I never use ever gingham on the edge of my quilts because of this. Because you have to line it up exact. So like, you can tell where it joins. See right there? You can tell where it changes. And I personally never put a gingham on my binding unless Teresa does it, because I don't trust myself to get it to line up correctly. And then this is the backing they put on there. This is, I can't remember what it's called, but I know we had it, or have it. This next quilt is by Moda. This is a Crystal Manning fabric collection called Parlor. Now, for years, we had you guys requesting Crystal Manning fabric. Y'all wanted it, so we started buying it. This is a kit. It's 74 inches square. The pattern, some of you might recognize, is Swoon 16. So the pattern is by Thimble Blossoms. This is a Moda box kit that will arrive in September. So this is a Bella Solid. And then this is from the collection. The binding is, it's kind of just it's not a solid. I think it's this print in a different color. And then this is what the sample maker put on the back. That's probably not the backing we have, just because we didn't make that one. Okay, so for every month at Fat Quarter Shop, we have different sales. So our basic of the month is Confetti Cotton by Riley Blake. They just added more colors, so there's over 300 colors available. So this one's gonna be one of those months where you can get a lot on sale because there are a lot of pre-cuts. There are fat quarter bundles, there are 10-inch squares, you know, there's lots of that, plus there's the bolts. The bolts are already on sale if you buy the full bolt, so those don't get discounted any further. So this is Confetti Cotton by Riley Blake, 20% off. The Gypsy Quilter has basically a lot of sewing notions. So they have like a scrap bucket. This is for you to put your iron on so that, you know, you don't, this would be great. Basically, this comes, if you guys don't know, from the curling hair department. So basically my daughter has something like this, much cuter, in her dorm room, so that her hair, what is it called?
Like your flat iron.
Curler. Yeah, flat iron or curler doesn't melt her plastic that she has on top of her desk. So it's kind of that same thing. So Gypsy Quilter is actually 25% off. The Spelling Bee book is 25% off also. Love this book. I'm going to flip through it just so you can see. This is one where there are, you know, the alphabet. This is so cute. But also, this would be so cute. I need to do this for my sons. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I'm going to take this book. I already have this book, but I should make that for my sons. So this book has a ton in it. And the blocks in this are also, they're also 6-inch and 12-inch. And I've made several quilts from this book. So 25% off the Spelling Bee book. And then because it is Jelly Roll Days, September 20th, we're putting Jelly Roll patterns 25% off. So I'm just showing you some that are on sale. There are a ton on sale. This is Parfait by Moda. Shortcake by Cluck Cluck Sew. Scrap Basket by Moda. In Time by Cluck Cluck Sew. Trifles by It's So Emma. Tick Tock by Cluck Cluck Sew. Bloom and Buzz, Layla Boutique. Tulips, this one's super cute. This would be a great scrap quilt. Every time I look at something, I'm always just trying to think of what can I do to make it mine? Or how can I make it? Color Me Crayons, this is an older pattern. Let's see how old it is. It is from, oh, you know what? It's from, we recolored it in 2024. This is probably 8 years old. Strip Flip by Cluck Cluck Sew. Off Track, Avenue, Tangled, Jelly Twist, Christmas Tree, Limelight, Wish, this one's super cute, Trellis, and Fat Quarter Friday. And this one is probably not 20% off because it's not Fat Quarter friendly, so we're just gonna ignore that, or we'll just put it on sale just for the heck of it. I don't know. But those are the Jelly Roll patterns that are on sale. And speaking of Jelly Rolls, I think we timed the release of this new product really well. That credit will go to Jocelyn. I had nothing to do with it. Okay, we just came out with Jelly Braid paper. And we also just came out with Stitchy Lights, which also sold out. So the Jelly Braid paper, we were conservative buying this. And we were conservative buying the lights just because of the economy. Well, now we are regretting that decision because they are already low. The 9-inch, we have a lot. The 5-inch is very low. We've already ordered more. I'm not sure when it's gonna come back in stock, if it's out of stock. But so basically, if you want this, I would buy it now because we are gonna sell out. Now, I just wanted to show you what fun it is to take a jelly roll. Have I shown them this yet?
You showed them yours.
Okay, I showed you this. This was mine, the one that I made. Okay, so this is the 9-inch paper. I took one jelly roll. That's good, that's good. Okay, that's the 9-inch. And then I had Teresa take the 5-inch jelly roll, 9-inch jelly braid paper, 5-inch jelly braid paper, just to show you the difference. Okay. This is what's left over of the 5-inch paper. And this is what's left over on the 9-inch paper. So from one jelly roll, you can get 350 inches, which is 29 feet. From the 9-inch paper, you can get 190 inches, which is 15 feet, 10 inches. Now inside when you open this, there's a little sheet of paper that gives you the cut sizes. You need to keep this with the paper so that you know what size to cut, but these are all jelly roll strips. You can also make this from scraps. One thing I can see different just from looking is this I didn't put in my quilt because it's so white on white. So it's just fun to see different ones. This one came out so much bigger. Now we don't know what we're gonna do with this yet. We will see, but it was just fun to do. Now, one thing I did want to show you is, sorry, this is really fun. Okay, so when you start, whichever part you start on, stuff is going to start coming off because this is where she started. This is where I ended. So you can see mine is nice and neat, but the other end stuff does start coming off. And if you want, you could use washi tape or painter's tape to tape it down. Obviously, we need to take all of this off anyway. To me, it's very cool. I would just sit for hours and well, it'd probably only take me an hour to get all the paper off. But this is fun for Jelly Roll Day. We will show it to you again on that July 20th. I was kind of thinking on this one, I could,
September 20th.
what'd I say?
July 20th.
Sorry, September 20th. I start talking funny sometimes. I don't even know what I say half the time. Okay. So thank you to Teresa who made, so let me know in the comments, which one do you like better? They look totally different. I guess they're going the wrong, they look different because I don't even have them the right direction. That's kind of funny. I didn't even notice that. And then this is where you start. That you start with a 2.5-inch square, so that's how I know. And then on the back, there are lines that you could use for cutting, or you can just chop wherever. We are gonna have a lot of patterns coming out with this, so stay tuned, and I apologize for ordering conservatively on those products. Now I'm gonna move into the what's new section. This is a brand new kit called Caramel Shortbread. Do we have the quilt made? No. Oh, we do have the quilt. So this is a Jolly Bar kit. This is the Wild Orchid collection. Okay, the Wild Orchid collection by Blackbird Designs, sorry. So super easy, super beginner. It's 44 by 48, and this is the backing set that we have that goes with it. The next kit we also have made, I just want to show you how we packaged it. This one has 2 layer cakes and the rosemary pattern by Thimble Blossom. This is one where we're releasing a quilt video to go along with it. So it's a Camille Ross Kelly pattern called Rosemary. We paired it with the Wild Orchid collection, and the kit is called Rosemary's Orchid. The backing set we picked was you know, kind of a light one. It's 72 inches square, and you can look forward to that video. This is very easy, very beginner. And I can tell you with the Wild Orchid collection, a lot of SKUs are already sold out. So we have plenty of pre-cuts, but it's the yardage. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting because sometimes collections come in and yardage will sell out, but not the pre-cuts. This one, lots of yardage has sold out, but we have the pre-cuts. So it's just very interesting. This is a reprint from a collection. I believe it was originally printed in 2017. Now, don't test my knowledge, but this is the half yard bundle. If you want to see I want to show you how pretty this is. So pretty. Every time I see this, I just want to sew stuff. Now that I saw that jersey, I got to make that for my sons. One of them, though, he told me this morning he's tired of football. He's like, I don't want to play anymore. But in middle school, you have to either, this is funny. If you're in sports, you have to do football or track. And so he's like, I don't want to run, so I'm going to play football. I'm like, that is the most ridiculous statement you've ever made in your entire life. But I think he's going to like it. He hasn't started. One of my son's games have started, his have not. I think he's going to like it once it starts. So this is Wild Orchid by Blackbird Designs. Everything's in stock except for the bullets that have already sold out. This collection I hadn't seen in person yet. This is called Olive Grove. It's by Amber Elliott for Riley Blake Designs. And with Riley Blake, you've seen how we show you the color cards. So we actually don't see their fabric on fabric until it comes in the door. And a lot of times I don't see the fabric until we do these live streams. It's really pretty. And I'm not sure how long she's been a designer at Riley Blake. So this one we have the yardage and the pre-cuts in stock. And usually, this is kind of a fun fact, most of Riley Blake's collections have 21 SKUs, except of course Lori Holt's, because she likes to have 50. 2x2 is a collection by Kayla Naylor by Riley Blake Fabrics. This one's super cute. There are 2 different panels, and there is a fat quarter bundle. It's obviously Noah's Ark themed. I'm going to show you the all over print. Can I name the animals? Absolutely not. I don't know if it's an alligator or a crocodile, but there's a giraffe and a zebra. I don't even know if that's a bear. I think it is. It's really cute though. I'm not an outdoor person, and I'm not an animal person except for my dog. Oh my gosh, y'all want to hear? I probably shouldn't admit this on live stream. Emma called me last night at 1 a.m. crying because she missed her dog. I'm not kidding. I was like, girl, why are you calling me at 1 a.m.? She's like, I miss my dog. I'm like, you don't miss me? You don't miss dad? You don't miss your brothers? No, I miss my dog. Show me a picture of my dog. And I was like, girl, if you call me again at 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm going to kill you. Because I go to bed at 9. It was so funny. Kevin was like, why is she calling you? She knows you're asleep. It was funny though. Okay, the first panel is a cotton panel. Do you think this is 23 or 36? I don't know how big it is. It looks pretty big. So that's the first panel. The second panel is the felt panel. Now let me tell you, they have Riley Blake has been making these felt panels for a while. That was a 35-inch panel. Okay, so this is a felt panel, so Jordan was right. And basically, I think what you can do is like put fabric on the back stitch and then it kind of sticks to each other. But it's an activity, you can make an activity bag. This would be the front, the back, the pockets. And the felt panels, they usually stay in stock way beyond the collection. Henry Glass has some new collections. This is Blizzard Fun by Jan Shade Beach. Now, she was the very first person years ago to do this one specific color of red and silver. I can't remember exactly what it was, and everybody copied her, and I felt so bad. This is not the colorway, but she sets trends, I'll tell you that. So it's a smaller collection. It does have a panel that goes with it, and this one is 23 inches. And I'm going to measure the blocks so you can see. They're about 8.5 inches. So there's 8 total on each panel. Thistle and Rye is, it's a new collection by Janet Ray Nesbitt for Henry Glass Designs. Okay, this is the yarn dyed. And it's, I would say it's thin, not thin. It doesn't have, some yarn dyes are like, have a soft texture to it. This one doesn't, it's just a plain yarn dye. So we have this in yardage and fat quarter bundles. And then we have the prints in fat quarters, half yards, and yardage. Oh my gosh, this just makes me want to sew. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go home and make that jersey. But you know, they have a different number every year, so then it doesn't last. And she's been a designer with Henry Glass, I mean, probably 20 years, since the beginning of when I started Fat Quarter Shop. Renee Nanneman has a new collection called Wildflower Cottage for Andover Fabrics. We have the yardage and the precuts and stock, and her fabrics have I think they're based on reproduction prints, not reproduction colors. I could be incorrect, but I think I'm right. So this one's really pretty. Andover, we actually buy that from a computer screen. We don't even buy it from paper. So I don't even see it until it comes in either. Lots of purple. I've been behind on making what are those blocks I'm making that are Woven Star, and so I need to get busy and make some Woven Star blocks. Looking at this fabric is making me feel behind. Per Parade, this is so funny. This collection to me looks like the fabrics look like circuses, but they're cats. So this is Per Parade by Art Gallery Fabrics. Is that a circus, you think? Are they circus? Are they?
Yes.
Okay, it is circus cats. Okay, then I am right. But I was like, it's circus colors. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I don't even like cats. Oh my gosh, so cute. The little kitties. Oh, it is a circus, duh. I was trying to figure it out online. That is by Art Gallery. And then this is Maureen Cracknell's collection called Starling. It's navy. We keep Art Gallery fabric. Art Gallery keeps their fabrics in print much longer than other companies, so we actually keep it longer than other companies. There's always a purple. Oh, I accidentally skipped one. And then this one's really pretty. Lewis and Irene is a company out of the United Kingdom, and this is called Forever Blooms. And Cassandra Connolly is the designer. Now, I can tell you this is very pretty. I bought this on a paper, it did not look this pretty when we bought it. It is beautiful in person. I think the printing is always really nice with what Lewis and Irene does. And their fabric, we can't reorder it. We can only get our original order, and so we're not able to reorder it, but it's really pretty. And when we bought it, I wasn't thinking that it read Americana, but now that it's here, that's the way it's reading to me. Of course, it could just be floral, but when you look at it as a whole, you know, I think it reads very Americana. And, you know, looking at it kind of makes me think of Shelley Kavanagh's book that we just showed.
Flower Farm.
Flower Farm. Just the coloring of it, it looks like it's got all the, like that would be so pretty together. Anna Maria, this is her Jumpstart collection. And her Iconic collection, there's several of them, but they're called Iconic. They're selling like crazy, and so we are reordering that all the time. Her fabric is selling a lot better now that she's with Northcott. I'm not sure what the difference is. So this one we cut half yards, fat quarters, and then we also have the bolts in stock. And just so you know, I'm showing you fabric that has arrived through August 29th. It's obviously September 5th or September something. We haven't shown you that because I'm pre-recording this. So if you don't see something that's online, that's why. I wish I had a magic wand and could have it all show up a week earlier. Or it'd be cool if I could like film from CrimeCon. But I'm very excited about going. I'm excited because then I don't have to take my kids to school at 6:30 in the morning. Minky Kim has really been doing a ton of quilt labels. So I'm going to show, she has probably 50. So this is handmade. Love is in every stitch. Started. This is these two are enamel charms right here. So this is Bloom Note, Pink Check, Started, and Own Kind. Those are your, no, Superpower 2. These are your sew-in labels. These are your enamel charms. From the Heart and Own Kind. So this is Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful, and this says we say it's handmade, but really it comes from the heart. We have a new magazine. We have Love of Quilting, the fall issue. I'm going to flip through it so you can see what's in it. Oh, Merry Little Christmas. We just loaded this to the website. We are not going to have quilt kits.
September 1st is the launch date.
I know, but we'll be live by then. So this will be online. We are only offering yardage, pre-cuts. We are not doing quilt kits. By the time we had fabric requirements for quilt kits, they said we could not add to our order. But any of those free patterns, they're coming out September 1st. We're going to put those online so that you can see them, and then you can order it, you know, by the yard. And I think this might be that collection. Merry Christmas by Tilda. I will tell you, I did buy the 2 fat quarter bundles. There's a bundle of prints and then there's a bundle of blenders. So that is our show. Now, I'm going to have a book signing next Friday at Garden of Quilts. I changed it to 10 a.m. So it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. because I have a flight at 1:30. So I had to change the time a little bit. And then I got questions because last week I saved all of the Emma stories for the members only. I'm going to show you her dorm. The stories I told were really just about Kevin and a little event that happened during the move-in. So this is her room. So those little shelves, Kevin put all those together. The number one question we have is, why is the bed so high? So when you're looking there, you can see there's storage under there. So that little silver thing, that's her laundry bag because it's like on wheels. And then there's storage under there. There's a, what do you call it? A vacuum cleaner. There's all kinds of stuff hidden under there. And their little tiny closet. And I think it's exciting. They have a sink in their room. And then that's in between their room. That's in between their beds. And that was the day, I think that was the day after move-in. So you can see all of her cute dorm stuff. It hasn't been the separation hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be, but I think at Thanksgiving it's going to be tough, her going back. For a giveaway this week, we are giving away 4 of our extra August Sew Sampler boxes. You have until September 11th to enter. We're going to pick winners on September 12th. And what I want you to do is comment and let me know. Number 1, what is your favorite quilt block? And number 2, what is your favorite fabric collection that has ever in the entire world come out? Because I'd love to see that. And I will see you guys soon.